رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي. In this example of the Quran's linguistic miracle, we'll see chapter 70 verse 9, which describes the day of judgment and says, and the mountains will be like wool. وَتَكُونُ الْجِبَالُ كَالْعِهْنِ. Wool is something light. However, Surah Al-Qāri chapter 101 verse number 5 describes the day of judgment saying the mountains will be like wool, but additionally it says which is fluffed up. It doesn't simply say wool, but wool which is fluffed up. وَتَكُونُ الْجِبَالُ كَالْعِهْنِ الْمَنْفُوشِ. So why do we have this addition in this verse? Let's appreciate the beauty in the context. In Surah Al-Ma, you had the mountains would be like wool. Wool is something light, of course. So it's only showing you in comparison to mountains which we perceive as heavy, it will be something. It will be like wool, which is light, because the previous verse says, on the day the sky will be like murky oil or molten metal. So it's comparing something light, something we see or perceive as light, the sky, which is all air, or the clouds which we see as moving, will become something like heavy, like molten metal or oil. However, the mountains which we see something as heavy will be something like light, will be like wool. Simply to show the lightness, wool, saying wool was enough. Because even in the previous verses, verse 6 and 7, there's a contrast. It says, indeed they see it as distant, but we see it as near. There's a contrast. Likewise, there's a contrast here. The light sky becomes heavy and the heavy mountains become light, like wool, saying wool was enough. However, Surah Qari'ah, verse number 5, which says that it will be like mountains fluffed up. Fluffing up shows it's expansion, the expansion and the spreading out. Because the previous verse describes the day of judgment, saying it is the day when people will be like moths dispersed, showing the dispersion and the scattering. Much more appropriate in the context to show the wool, which was also fluffed up, showing the scattering. SubhanAllah, it's all according to the context. SubhanAllah, nothing extra. So may God give us complete conviction in the Quran as the word of God. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.